Now, so you've watched some of my earlier videos, like how to build a dream hub and how to structure your offer. But today, whilst it builds on that, we'll have a little bit of a twist because today is not just about community, it's about the business strategy behind the community. More specifically on how to create that connection in your business that supports your growth, not just having to deal with engagement constantly. So let's be honest, online memberships and communities are just not what they used to be back in 2020, just before COVID hit, right? So people were flooding to online spaces, Zoom meetups, Facebook groups, endless connection, right? But now most of us are more sensitive and we're more selective to what it is that we actually want to get involved with. We are craving that meaningful connection, I guess you could say, but we're not just after all of those notifications on this is happening, that's happening. We want to have that meaningful connection and when it's at the right time. So if you're a coach, if you're a course creator or a program host, this is actually good news, right? Because you don't need to be online 24/7 to grow your community anymore. What you need to do is have a smart structure that supports momentum and that creates that real engagement when it matters. And at the same time too, it will just give you that room to lead that community when you need to without being glued to a chat box 24/7. Let's admit it. We're not in that. And that's what we're going to dive into today. How to design a wave-based community, I like to call it, that aligns with your business model, your energy, and your people's needs. So this is all going to be about that, just that strategy behind how to build that community. And what I hope that you do walk away with, to be honest, is the 5 steps to make it actually happen. And I will be providing a wave rhythm planner in the description below. So let's get into this video. Now, before we dive into the 5 steps, if you do find this helpful, I would love it if you gave this video a like, you hit subscribe and tap the bell so you don't miss the rest of this series. I do share strategies every week to help you build smarter offers, grow your programs, and also just support your audience with less stress. So in step 1, you're looking at choosing the role your community plays. And your space needs to have a clear purpose. It's not just a community, it is actually part of your business model. So without clarity, let's point it this way, without clarity, people don't know why they're there. So you will end up sort of over delivering in a way as well, and you will burn out. So you want to define that role. You want to give your space direction, and you can do so by working out what your space is really there for. Now, there's a few things that you can think of. It could be, is it to support a live or self-paced course? Is it there where you run a group program? Could it be a place where you're nurturing people before they buy something else, like a free membership and building up into other courses, etc.? Is it a paid membership with monthly value? Once you know the role of the space that you're creating, you can design the structure a lot better and you'll know the kind of engagement that's involved and the energy around it, instead of just trying to guess every way. So in step 2, it's about using waves of momentum, not having to feel like you're constantly online. And you don't need to be. You don't need to be constantly delivering or posting or engaging to build that connection with your users. You want to create sort of that waves of energy so that it's like timed bursts that bring people together with a purpose. And it matters so much to not just yourself, but to your, the members or students that you're in, because we are past that era of, daily check-ins and always on communities. Like I said a little bit earlier, people aren't online constantly. When they want to come into your product or your content, they're coming in with intent. So trying to keep things buzzing every week leads to burnout for you, but it also, it has an element of what we call engagement fatigue for your members as well. So you don't want to constantly be throwing stuff at them. You just want to show them that there are these waves in your membership or your community. And people respond to that focused energy as well. So they're more likely to engage when they know that this is the moment that they're going to be launching this, or this is the week to show up because there's this challenge on, or this is where that a whole shift changes. We're going to evolve from this product to that product. People, when they're aware of what the rhythms are, they will come in and check in. So how do you do this? Well, you can be specific with the particular windows that you have of high energy in your communities. And it could be something like, you're delivering a 6-week group coaching program, and this is where all the human connection is going to take place. Or it could be a 4-week challenge inside your membership where you're getting people to come in, do this challenge, and they're interacting with each other as well. There's also that launch wave where you might be creating that space of activities around the new offer. So people who are in your free membership, and then all of a sudden you're diving in and you've got walkthroughs, workshops, whatever it is. It could even be like a seasonal push, maybe. It could be like, a January reset or something like that. Or it could be an end of year planning for next year's marketing plan, whatever it is, right? But let's say, for example, like we run a program called Eff-Ex, right? And that's an 8-week program that really runs for a year. So for me, the wave is we open up our space, we bring people in, and we start setting the energy about what it is that we share in Eff-Ex, and we start dripping content in there about it, but we start really pushing, and I'm a lot more present in the system itself, in the space. So people are aware that Nikki's around, she's talking about this is my opportunity to ask questions about it, etc. And then once it's on, we close that off to the free community, and those who have joined, I'm in there with them just for that period of time. And then it just tapers out again. So after that, you can dip into that, like I mentioned, that softer rhythm, I guess you can call it, until the next wave returns. And that means you don't have to particularly be in the community constantly and exhausting you. So what you want to do is you just want to deliver impact when it counts, and you want to protect your time when it doesn't. So step 3 evolves from step 2, right? And this is all about maintaining a light touch rhythm between those waves, right? You still want to be present between the waves, but you don't want to have it in full volume, right? So this is where your steady heartbeat, I guess you can call it, where is in your community and your people can still feel connected, but you're not feeling exhausted by having to engage constantly in there. And what happens quite often this happens where a lot of creators, they'll just sort of disappear between launches. So you feel like, hang on a minute, where have they gone? And they'll also either overcompensate maybe with a lot of content, and neither of that is suitable. What you want to do is really create that soft rhythm by keeping that trust and consistency alive. So you're sort of there, but you've still got content. You're gaining that equilibrium between that time that you're spending in there, but also the content that you're providing. And sort of a way to do that, I guess you can call it, is just have a baseline of engagement, just a plan there that you know that you might bring in a post once a week, a prompt per week of some sort where it's asking them, have you done this or whatever, just engaging in that sense of getting that response. It could be getting your community to focus on something or to check in about something. It could be pre-scheduled updates, let's say, and there's sort of little quiet nudges in there where, hey, how are you going in the course? Now, people don't need to have a big party every week inside your community, but they do need to feel that the lights are on, let's say, right? They want to know that that heartbeat's still going and that they're still welcome to come in and there's still some sort of movement there, but it's not crazy movement constantly. Now, step 4 is one of the important ones here, and that's prioritizing that human connection, not just throwing a whole lot of content at people during those quiet periods. And the magic isn't in how much you post. Consistency is important, but looking at where your community is, what they're interested in is important. So maybe it is posts where you're really prompting them with things, but not just throwing stuff at them constantly where they're like, oh yeah, okay, whatever. Because all that is you're just trying to say, hey, I'm here way too often. Sometimes they need that little bit of quiet, or it's like, hey, we've got this very important information out here now that is, valuable to you and beneficial for you. Take a look at it rather than, hi, I'm here and that's it, and no value in there. So it's in how people feel when they're in your space. They want to have that feeling of belonging and not just delivery of information constantly, right? So I've mentioned before, people don't stay for the information. They stay when they feel seen, when they feel heard, and especially when they feel valued. And that is that emotional connection in a sense that drives that retention and those referrals that you get, of other people coming in, that those advocates that are in your system, bringing other people in. So how do you do this? Well, there are a number of things that you can choose, which is like highlighting the wins of your members, no matter how small they are. It could be wins of how, your membership has evolved or opportunities that are inside the space. Use sort of, I think, what do you call it, reflection threads, where you're basically putting out a message out there in chat groups or whatever, where They're just sort of, hey, reflect, tell me how things are going, not just tips, but getting people to think about what it is that, you're putting out there, you're posting out there. Encourage peer-to-peer support. That is one major thing that I'm really all about. And this is where I guess you could be running a course and you've got people, other students in the course, and like within Wisdom, we have a social group that's always connected to a course. And we invite our students to come in and, talk about what they're learning in that course. And sometimes one person will mention something, another one will go, oh yeah, I get it. And that's where that human connection comes in. They're stepping in, they're sort of helping each other. They're not just relying on you to be present. And you could also run sessions. And this is something that I found in other groups, which I think are fantastic. And that is they involve their members who could be experts in other areas to jump in and run a session to teach other members of that group something that would be beneficial to them. Now, this might not suit every membership style or coaching program and so forth, but it is an opportunity where you're utilizing those people who are part of your community to help the rest of the people in your community without you having to feel like you have to do it all. So the more human you make the space, the more engaged it does become, and the less content that you feel like you need to, forcefully put out there all the time. It's really trying to make sure you have that mentality and go, all right, community is about human connection. I can't be there constantly, so how can I get my community to connect with each other? Simple as that. So step 5 is letting it evolve. Let your offer evolve. Let your space evolve with your business model. And your space that you have, the learning space you have, whether it's just courses and so forth, it doesn't have to stay fixed. You can bring it and evolve it into something else, like a membership, a free membership, or it could be, that high ticket offer evolves into a VIP space. It's all about making sure that your business doesn't get stuck to. That's what it comes down to, right? Your offer needs to grow, it can shift, and your community should do that as well with it. So you don't want to restrict your community, basically. You don't want to restrict your learners that are in your system to feel like this is as far as I can go. Now I've got to go somewhere else. You want to show them that there's some sort of evolution there, if that's a part of your business model, of course. So if you are looking to provide maybe courses, and you don't have to necessarily be there all the time for the courses, but that wave moment that you want to come in could be, let's do a challenge next to those courses. So people who are doing those courses, self-paced, they're doing their thing, and then you run a challenge. That's when you're available. That's when you're in front of them. And they're like, oh, okay, we've got some high engagement here with the actual expert. Let's do the challenge as well. And they do the challenge. They fall in love with you again. They're reminded of how great you are, whatever it is. And maybe they move into a membership, or they just go back to their courses, but they've had that touch again with you. But the evolution side of things, like I mentioned, you might take them into a membership. And with that membership, you might be showing them, you're doing your self-paced courses. We did our massive challenge here, which was high engagement. But hey, why don't you come into our membership where it's not constantly like this, but you still get access to courses. You get access to me once a month where I come in and check in. You can build that momentum or evolution that way. It could go the opposite way too, where you're running a membership and then you bring people into a course. So it's like a quieter period if you want to. So these are just some ways where you can sort of evolve your business model anyway. What you want to do though, with whatever business model you do create with respect to business strategy, that you're building out a course or into a membership and so forth, is you want to maintain that connection. And what I mean by connection is you don't want people to disconnect between one platform or tool to another tool. You want to keep a flow there. And yes, I'm the founder of Wisdom, and Wisdom itself does allow you to go from course into a membership all in the one space under the one logging. So people aren't logging into this area for courses, that area for memberships, that area for chat or events. It's just one login and they click on the areas, nice and simple. And the main purpose of that is it's the user's experience. It's your members' experience. It's them actually seeing and going, oh, this isn't all they have to offer. And when you have events going, they'll see it in their calendar and they're like, this is the period that there's high engagement. Great, I'll get involved. But that's what you want to do with respect to the tools that you offer that will help you evolve your offers as well. So this is what real business strategy can look like, right? It's not just about the offer that you're sharing, but it is in how you're holding people through each stage of their journey with you, right? The way you design your space is actually, helping people move through the space, and it's not just you pushing content at them. So making sure that you look at beyond just the one offer that you have and see how your people can evolve with you and how you could take them on the journey that they're trying to go on. So in the end, it's all about building a space that will grow with you, right? It's about supporting your goals without draining your energy. So a quick recap, the 5 steps that we went through. Choose your community's role, use waves of momentum, keep a light touch rhythm between those waves, and prioritize human connection, not just from yourself, but within your members themselves, and let it evolve in your business. And this is how you build that space that will grow with you. Not only a space that will just support your goals, but will just make sure that you do not burn out. So like I said earlier, download your free Wave Rhythm Planner below in our description. It will help you map out your ideas for your next program or even your engagement cycle, just with a bit more intention. And if you are looking for a space where you can connect with other people building out their knowledge businesses, come and join us in our free Wisdom Help Hub. And that's where we've got a whole lot of content in there, some courses free and paid as well. But it is a space where you can just discover ideas of what other people are doing and how they're building out their businesses. And if you are looking for a tool to start a whole idea, your knowledge business, or even scale your knowledge business online, join our free plan. We have a free plan there. It's not just a trial period. There's a free plan as well. So give that a try. Give Wisdom a try. It is there to support you. And look, if this video did spark any ideas, hit like, subscribe, and tap the bell, and we'll see you in our next video.